So I decided to wear the bonnet today just to have a conversation about the bonnet. Y'all, I freaking love bonnets. Especially ones that are oversized, really, really large, and like, y'all know, okay? I'm also in love with Hairvivi. Let's just have a conversation about that. If y'all did not know, okay, this is one of my favorite hair companies. I know you guys have been asking me, Chrissy, please put them in order. This is number one. I mean, just end of conversation from there. You guys, they give a ton of step-by-step instructions on how to manage your unit, take care of it, the return process. Let me say, if you get a unit and you are unsatisfied, please be sure to contact Hairvivi ASAP, okay? Put the unit back in the box. Do not pass go. Return to sender immediately, all right? Here's a quick look at the unit that I received, which this is the cap that they used to use, or I'm saying used to use. I guess they always have used it, but my very first unit from them looked exactly like this. So they were literally ahead of the game when it came to glueless installs, elastic caps, all that good stuff. I am there. Y'all can see my braid pattern, really, really nice, sleek, and smooth. If you guys caught some of my last videos, y'all saw me pretty much talking about my braid pattern because it was kind of lumpy, y'all. I did it in a rushed way. So if you need your units to lay flat, which we all want them to, I highly recommend checking out a tutorial that I did post a while ago to show you how to cornrow to get the flattest install. I do not want to see lumps and mountainous humps when it comes to wearing your units. I should be a rapper, okay, or not. Anywho, you guys, this is going to be a glueless install. So all that I'm going to do from here is pretty much cut off the lace. If you guys need to see it again, run it back. I have a ton of videos from Hairvivi, and y'all know I'm never disappointed, truly. I do sometimes wish that some of the units that they sent me are already pre-trimmed. In this case, I can understand why it wasn't. There was some curls in it. Of course, I love that. And then I just decided to add a few layers. But I want to show you anybody that's like looking to get a unit, not really even having the hot tools, not really familiar what to do. Y'all, you can still wear the unit fresh out of the box. Now, do I agree with some of the lumps happening at the top? Not necessarily, but you guys can see it still has a lot of shape. It's pretty, it's manageable, but I'm going to take it up a notch, as we always do, okay? I want you guys to really get the salon look for less. So if you're going to be investing your money into these units, which I know they can be quite pricey, especially when it comes to getting units that are going to last you for years, it is an investment, right? So let me show you how to get the most out of your money. If you are not one of those people that like the baby hair look and really don't care for it, skip that step of just pulling them down and kind of trimming them out. All that I'm going to do is add a little bit of Cream of Nature Argan Oil Mousse just around the hairline. So for example, if you didn't want to use the baby hair, that is fine, okay? Smooth everything back and still lay the wig down, as I'm going to show you with the elastic band in just a bit. Now, the thing that I always notice about the Hairvivi units is sometimes, just sometimes, I will end up needing to trim off like a little bit of hair around the ears. I did that off camera just because I've done it so many times in other videos. But if you guys need a literally like step-by-step only wanting to see that, let me know so that I can just make a short for it. And then that way, you know, we kind of get the video out of the way. So I don't know why I crisscrossed the hair up underneath my chin. Y'all, just being silly. Straight face, sarcastic Christiana is she, okay? Having inside jokes with herself. So anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much just brush everything through. Y'all, look at this beautiful chocolate color. When I tell y'all I got so many compliments on Instagram, if you guys are not already following me there, what are we doing? Why are you here? Okay, you guys have to follow me on social media so that you guys don't miss when I do other updates, when I'm showing you different techniques and just kind of like lifestyle content. In this case, I'm doing all this back and forth moving around because I'm showing you how to properly hold the curling iron. You always want to make sure that your thumb is on top and you're curling towards yourself, away from your face towards yourself, if that makes sense. You don't want to curl in it is a back motion. So make sure that I'm saying that as I'm watching it and just trying to make sure that I just explained that correctly. You may need to replay this quite a few times because I'm a visual learner. Sometimes it doesn't really help when you have somebody just kind of like spewing off a bunch of information. I need to hear it, see it, all that. Mostly see it, which is just how I learn. So of course I kind of teach in that same way, but I do make it a point to always have my thumb on top. You should not be using your first index. Is it the index finger? Yeah. You shouldn't be using your first finger to assist you with like really forming the curl initially. You can absolutely use it to just kind of maneuver throughout the curling rod if you need to kind of just like get some of that bulk of hair that's not smoothly transitioning through the rod. Obviously, use your thumb to just kind of tap, 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 open and close the actual rod, and it should be a lot smoother for you. If you need to take smaller sections, I'm always going to recommend that. But I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to doing curls. A lot of bit lazy when it comes to doing curls, and I like to get through the bulk of it really fast. That's why I tend to do more of like a wavy type of curl than like super curled, hiked up to like my shoulders, right? But to each his own. If you like that flexi rod look, I definitely recommend even maybe securing this at night with maybe about 3 to 4 flexi rods so that everything just kind of lasts and you don't find yourself having to curl and recurl again the next morning. Because again, this is glueless. I like taking off my units at night. If that's not something you're interested in, you could always glue it down. I did not bleach these knots. I did not pluck anything. Y'all, I pretty much never get shedding when it comes to Hairvivi's units. The color, I will say, always makes me nervous because I'm never really sure how it's going to turn out. But this is just a light ombre. You guys can see it's like this nice, pretty dark brown going into this like chocolate, milk chocolate color. I'm here for the dark to milk chocolate look. You guys can see I'm going through the hair, kind of just parting everything off, adding a little bit of my frizz ease just to help me further be able to lay everything down. I like to do that ahead of time sometimes so that I am not burning myself with the curling rod, the hot comb, none of that good stuff. But I always like to make sure that everything is nice and smoothed down. And if you need a little bit more help and assistance, don't be afraid to use some hairspray, because again, the hairspray that I'm using is workable. So what does that mean? I can spray it probably about 5 to 6 times before it starts to look chalky. I'm here for it. If it starts to look chalky, don't be alarmed, all right? You will need to just take a little bit of maybe a wax stick or some type of oil just to kind of get it, not looking too chalky. If you have the time, I highly recommend, I'm not going to say starting over, but maybe take a damp cloth and just kind of pat it throughout the area that got a little bit more chalky. Sometimes I don't show that in the video, and maybe I should. So that's why I'm explaining it now. But if that happens to you and it's something you need to see, again, let me know. I can make a short for it. That way I don't have to spend, a whole dedicated video showing you how to do that, but we can kind of just get the content out and going. So, of course, I like to curl away from my face the entire time. That's both the left and the right side. Now, y'all know with Hairvivi caps, I love them simply for the fact that I don't ever have to wear a wig cap. Y'all saw I literally took it out of the packaging. There was already this like light brown cap underneath. I love that because it kind of replaced the silk, what was it called? The silk based closures. I don't know if y'all remember. If y'all remember that, y'all were wearing the wigs and involved in the wig process back in like 2013, 2014. I'm not sure. I'm sure it existed way before then, but hey, okay. Then, of course, to pretty much just brush everything out, I like to use a paddle brush, and then I use my hands to decide the type of curls that I want. And then, of course, y'all can see I'm still just going throughout, doing the same thing on the left side to the right side. You always want to make sure that you really kind of get as close as possible to the front of the hair as you can to smooth everything back. Again, if you want to wear the unit more natural and you don't really want it to look, I don't want to say polished, but I guess that is the word, right? Essentially, when you use the oils, the hair spool, the light holding sprays, the light oils, just to add a little bit more shine, it does create more of a polished look. If you want something a little bit more effortless, you could absolutely just curl this, maybe hit it with the hot comb in certain spots, just to keep the volume going so it doesn't look overworked or overdone, because not everybody wants a super sleek laid wig. And the funny thing is, I don't know if this is just like a thing in our community, but a lot of times when I see other communities where units, they don't do all this, which makes sense because a lot of times they don't do this to their natural hair either. So I just think it's so funny and amazing at how we like to spin things and turn them into our own and really get the units to looking like, okay, they are growing out of our scalp. So I'm in love with that. You guys can see I'm just going to brush everything through. I had this funny look though, because I was kind of like, Chrissy, how did we end up with these beach waves when I was actually going for like an even softer wave? What ends up happening is when you take that rod all the way up to like the base, it's going to create a larger curl. So if you do want something that's just more a face framing curl, just a light wave towards the face, you definitely want to start that curl off a little bit lower down the hair strand than you would towards the top. So I may just be speaking another language right now if you aren't familiar with what I'm saying, but I'll show you that in another, actually I can show you that in the other Hairvivi video that I did. So this is a ombre unit. It already came this way. This is not anything that I did. Hairvivi is like the GOAT when it comes to color units, from the blondes to the reds to just everything, the balayage highlights. I'm loving it. Now this would be a really, really cute unit to add maybe like some blonde streaks towards the top and maybe towards the bottom area. I think this would be a good like flip. So typically I will resell some of my units, but the Hairvivi ones, they got to stay with me. These are long-term, really, really long. I believe this was a 24-inch if I'm not mistaken. And you guys can see the curls were doing what they needed to do. We could totally stop here. But why do that? But why do that when you don't have to? And like I said, this is glueless, so I always have to show you the little comb trick just to really show you that this unit is not attached at all, with nothing further than the combs on the inside, which I didn't even use, by the way, and then also just the elastic band and the adjustable band that is inside of the cap. Did I say band twice? The cap is adjustable and there's a band to take it up a notch. Now, when it comes to the curls, lately I've been getting so many compliments on my curls, which I'm just now really figuring this out because I was not the curl queen. Take some hairspray and literally place that curl exactly where you want it to go. I know that that's the process, right? It was taught back in hair school, but you just forget about those things because when it comes to the units, I always want them to feel really soft. But y'all, if you really want the style to last and these curls to not move, you ever see a girl and you're like, how is she shaking her head and moving it all around and the curls are just nowhere? Okay, they have not gone anywhere. It's the hairspray. Literally place the curl in the exact spot that you want it. You'll get a good glimpse in this clip of what I mean. I literally just held the curl. I must have held it too far apart because look at that. It literally stayed exactly where I wanted, and then I pretty much just tucked the remaining end and just curled it away. So I used my finger to kind of wind it upon itself, really kind of just broke everything up. This is where I was kind of determining, like, do I want this to have even more volume? You guys can see the curls are more going toward the face as opposed to being like the full way around my head. And I just like the way that it framed my face without me having to cut a lot of layers in this and do anything crazy. You guys saw in the beginning, I did go ahead and take a razor comb just to go through it. And now I'm pretty much just taking some hairspray just to kind of tease it up a little bit. I actually have a really, really good spray for this, but I don't know why I didn't think of using it. But just to kind of help tease and add a little bit more volume here. This is what I mean when I say polished hair, okay? It looks intentional. It looks like you knew what you were doing. You did not go to school for this. You ain't new to this. You are true to this, all right? Y'all, I'm so corny. I can't with myself. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about it. I already love it. Y'all know how I feel about Hairvivi. Leave any comments or questions down below. And of course, stay pretty. I will see y'all in the very next video. Bye, baby.